Good morning, NAWBO Nation. How are you today? It's Friday. It has been a long week, an awesome week, I hope, for you. I am here with Ranee Cress, Wright, and we have some really impactful things to talk about today. Hi, Ranee.
So, hi, how are you this morning?
Doing great, doing great. Love your flowers.
Those were from some friends of mine that just have just continued to love on me in the last couple of weeks, and that's one of the ways they do that.
Wow, those are gorgeous.
Isn't that beautiful?
Yes, absolutely. They really make a statement.
Yeah.
I love them.
Yeah.
Well, we are here coming to you from our home offices as we continue to be working from home. And so what a crazy time. But I believe that the NAWBO Nation has just been just really working this. And I don't think we've ever felt so connected. And that's what a lot of people have been saying. Ranee, you and I may have never met had we not had this opportunity.
Yeah, exactly right.
And can we say how you found out that we were talking about Lydia's legacy?
Yeah.
Tell us.
Yeah. So I believe it was on Monday's broadcast. I believe it was on Mondays. And I get a phone call from my parents who are in their late 70s and my dad who is 80. And he's like, I watched on Facebook Live something about Lydia's legacy and NAWBO. And I'm like, what? He said, yeah. So he was super excited. And so I just wanted Margaret to know and everyone else that this is reaching multiple generations. So from whoever to 80 plus are watching. And so anyway, I wouldn't have known about it had he not called me and told me, or at least maybe I wouldn't have known about it as early as I did. So
I'm so glad you did, because I really had thought I would love to talk to Ranee, and I wasn't even thinking about interviewing you at the time. Sometimes interviewing people, not everyone's open to coming on camera, and I get that, because we're not just live on Facebook, we're live on YouTube and on Twitter, and but really it is casual, and I do try to make it very warm and welcoming, and we're just talking here.
Exactly. Yeah.
So, and just so you know, someone is commenting that your wall color is on point.
So I have to tell you, this is my daughter's room. It's her bedroom. And after when she had moved out, as she got older and moved out, this room is transformed into several things, as I think we all do in life, right? We're constantly changing. And so this actually was a background that she had put up on the wall, and I just never took it down. So I'm kind of set up anytime I'm doing any kind of Zoom or online, I kind of set up a space right there in her space to do that with. So thank you for noticing.
Yeah, love it. So we are here with Ranee Cress, Wright, as the founder of Lydia's Legacy. And if you've been watching these Facebook Lives or have seen any of our social media posts or emails, we have been talking about an amazing scholarship for the Next Gen program, which is happening next week. There is still time to register, and I will make sure you have that link here in the comments. But you can actually apply for a scholarship to attend, and you will receive an admission to the Next Gen conference. You will also receive access to the keynote at the WBC conference, Glennon Doyle, that will happen the week after. And you'll also receive a 1-year student membership to NAWBO. So this is a super, super amazing opportunity. So if this fits you or someone you know who is in high school, college, just out of college, or even junior high, I've heard people say, my daughter wants to be an entrepreneur. If they have ever expressed any, right,
exactly,
express that at all, it's so important to put them in this space, and they can qualify for a scholarship because there are still a lot of scholarships available thanks to the generous donation of Lydia's Legacy.
Oh, good.
So today we are going to talk about Lydia's Legacy. Mm-hmm. And Renee, I'm gonna give this over to you, and if you want to just tell us what you'd like to share with us.
Sure, I'd love to. And Margaret, thank you so much, really, for giving me the opportunity to share and just talk with you and anyone else who's listening. If I refer down to some of my notes, it's because I'm a novice at this, so you know, be patient with me. But I formed Lydia's Legacy after the death of my daughter. She was 23. 6 weeks ago today was when we received the news of her death. And so we are obviously still grieving and mourning and working through that. And Lydia and myself shared a very common and sweet bond, and we both were entrepreneurs. And I always made sure I was trying to support her and what her dreams were. And so when she passed, it was evident to me real quickly that I wanted to make sure that her legacy continued. And on Lydia's Facebook page, she had posted a quote that said, "You were given this life to live because you were strong enough to live it." And that message, "you are strong enough," has been something that has been an underlying current, really because of, I believe, in God's grace, that you are strong enough. And so Lydia left that message, I believe, for me and anyone else who wanted to embrace it. So that is her legacy. And I wanted to continue that legacy. My passion and my heart is really to encourage young entrepreneurs to be their best and most beautiful self that they can imagine to be. And the key in that is that if we can imagine it, then we're strong enough. And we will find all kinds of obstacles. Lydia had all kinds of obstacles, all kinds of challenges, as we both and everyone does. And she continued to not let them knock her down. She continued to be strong. She continued to work and better herself. And so that legacy is something I just wanted to continue. And I'm incredibly grateful to NAWBO. I am a recently new member and just found out about it this year. And once I started to do some of the workshops and found, some of the resources, I'm like, where have you been all of my life? Why did I not know about this before? And so as a young woman entrepreneur, someone who has just an interest or even started, I cannot encourage you enough to get involved. Take this opportunity to just get the support, get the knowledge and the understanding. Be a part of this organization and this nation. It will serve you well. So, but Lydia's Legacy was birthed out of that desire to really support entrepreneurs and continue her legacy.
Amazing. And I did not realize that this was so recent. So I just want to, yeah. Oh my gosh. So I'm really hugging you right now.
Yeah. So if there are tears, I won't apologize for them. There probably will be. And, but if there are, there are, because that's where we're at and where we're walking, what we're doing.
Yeah. And you know what I love about this time is that it's this year has been obviously unreal.
Yeah.
But I do believe with everything happening in the world, put all of that aside. Mm-hmm. I just continue to say one-on-one, we have just really embraced one another. I mean, when I go out to the store, people don't know what I believe. I don't know what they believe, but we're still holding the door for each other.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so right now in this place, we can all just be here for you and for Lydia and for your family, and um, and and then you've given back to the community. So I mean, I can't tell you how big of an opportunity that is for people. But sadly, sometimes it's difficult for people to take the step, even when we are giving them
Yeah.
the branch.
Reach out. Reach out.
Reach out. It's like we can give people all the tools that we have and the help, and it still is difficult for them. So that's why if you're watching this, sometimes we have to nudge
Mm-hmm.
our young people. When I first started in NAWBO as a NAWBO member, I was 31 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm turning 40 in December.
Mm-hmm.
And time just flew. But
Yeah.
I don't know what would have happened had I not joined up in this organization. I don't even know if I would still be in business, Renee.
Yeah, it's quite possible. It's quite
Yeah.
possible. I think that's, when you were talking about that nudge, and you and I talked a little bit about, of course, the theme of the conference being brave and what is, brave. And to me, that brave is doing what I am not confident or comfortable in doing, like Facebook Live. Never done that before, but it's leaning into that fear,
Mm-hmm.
because generally when we don't do something, there's something we're afraid of, whether we can identify it or not. We just are. Mm-hmm. We can lean into it and recall what we do know to be true. Mm-hmm. Then we'll find the confidence that we need to go ahead and keep advancing and keep moving. Mm-hmm. And that's really what I hope that some of these young women will do. It's like, I don't have a plan. I didn't have a plan. Mm-hmm. I really didn't. When I started business, we did not have a plan. I just had some basic skills as far as managing money. And I knew that if I just leaned in and tried, then either I was going to succeed or fail, but I'd never know unless I did it.
That's right.
And so I think that this is a great opportunity, for young women to test the waters and to just see, if nothing else. And then those who are established, or even if you're not established, if you're, I know what I want to do, but I just keep going around in circles. I've been there. All of us have been there. This is a great opportunity as well.
It really is. And it really, again, like you said, whether you're not established. So I would think that, many of high school and college aged entrepreneurs, the junior high entrepreneurs, they don't have anything. They don't even know what they're going to, but it's like, if they're, I mean, I am not a psychologist on entrepreneurship, but I can say from experience,
there you go,
that in me, I knew that I wanted to do something and I could never figure out what career I wanted. Mm-hmm. And it was because I was going to make my own.
Yeah, that's the same way Lydia was.
Wow.
Yeah, the same thing. When she was in high school, and that's part of her story. I hope that when anyone goes on to click to see the information about the scholarship, mm-hmm. that they do read her story. Mm-hmm. It's on a link there that NAWBO did a great job of putting together. But she did that. She started in high school before the pre-made meals and everything was a big deal. Mm-hmm. Teachers were just frustrated at long hours that teachers work, right? Oh. And then their coaches, they're there even longer. And then how do they, how do we cook for our families and all that kind of stuff? And so she just noticed, just as an entrepreneur does, there's a need here. So she loved to cook. Culinary was her passion. And so she came up with a schedule of meals. She passed them out to teachers. And so they started purchasing them. And so she did that like early on in high school. And so it was just, she didn't have to have any kind of formal anything put together. It was just like, here's the need. I'm going to just start doing it. And she started doing it. And so that's why I encourage, don't need to have everything all put together and know exactly what's going to happen, when and where. Just jump in and start moving, start going.
Yes.
Take
I
the first.
love that. And all the information to the scholarship is here in the show notes, but I'm also adding it to the comments just to make it a little easier for people so they can access that. Well, that was I love that. I thank you for sharing that. Thank you for being on. Thank you for being part of this. Thank you for joining NAWBO. How did you hear about NAWBO, if you don't mind me asking?
Yeah, it's a cool story. So, I've been in business almost 25 years. Next year will be our 25th anniversary. And this is the first year that I looked at getting some kind of financial help. We have never done that before. And along came the PPP loan, So our business, I'm in oil and gas, and we make parts for drilling. We're a valve manufacturer. Mm-hmm. And so business is very, very slow. And then with COVID, just like a lot of people, mm-hmm. It was very difficult. So I found out about the PPP loan. And so I went to the SBA. So while I was on the SBA, I ran across this National Association of Women Business Owners on the SBA. And I went, what's that? That's interesting. Mm-hmm. So I found out about it and joined. And that's how I found out, because of the circumstances that are currently in that mm-hmm. seemed and are really challenging. It actually led me to this National Association of Women Business Owners.
Wow.
So it's pretty cool.
That is really cool.
So when things seem really bad, honestly, there's usually some gift in there somewhere.
Well, we are so glad that you found NAWBO, and now will always be a part of NAWBO. Mm-hmm. And then allowing us to be here with you in this journey, and it's perfect. So, yeah. Is there anything else that you want to talk about on our theme, Brave? Brave is. I mean, you've already touched on it, but is there any last thought?
Well, I was just thinking about, because I knew kind of what our audience is, although my dad, who's 80, is probably watching. So, my dad. But I think to me, when we're talking about, those who are just starting a business or in the what I would call infancy stages, if you're younger and you're just working through it, it's really a lot like having a child. Mm-hmm. So you can read tons of books, you can go to seminars, you can get lots of support, but until you actually do it, experience it, mm-hmm. there's just nothing that can fully prepare you for that experience. And so I believe as you're building your business, there's 3 key points. And so for these young women, the first one is that, as we talked about, building a business is a lot like having a child. You're raising a child, you've raised a business. This is something you imagine yourself doing. So that ownership in it is huge. So you really do, you raise it. And I'm sure everyone's heard the comment about it takes a village, mm-hmm. to raise a child. Well, I would say no. I would say it takes a nation. Mm. And it takes a nation to raise a business. Mm. And so I would encourage any entrepreneur to build their nation. That's why NAWBO, I think, is so important. To build your nation, to build your support of those who believe in you, that can tell you truth, that have skill sets that you don't have that you need. Build your nation, and then be a part of someone else's nation.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's really important. And then the second thing I believe is really important is that you know yourself. So you take the time, because you are your company's, your business's most valuable asset. So you know what is your core value. Take the time to know that so that you can stay that course. Because as you run your business, as you move through all the cycles and everything, it's important that you're fulfilled and that it's something you enjoy doing. And then the third one is to know that it's going to take time. It's a slow, steady process. It just is. To build a firm foundation that's going to last, just give yourself the grace and time to move through whatever cycles that happen and just to continue to build on it. So I think those three things have been my experience. And yeah.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, and in 25 years in business, I think you can tell us what we need.
I tell most people, I said, I'm pretty good at telling you what not to do. What to do.
I love it. I love it. Well, thank you so much again, Renee. Thank you for the scholarship that you've provided for so many people. We are doing everything that we can to get it in front of the eyes of those that will really, that can use it.
Yeah.
So we thank you again for that. Thank you for being here. And we'll see you next week at the Next Gen. Will you be stopping by?
I would love to. Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think, I will. I know there's definitely a few sessions that we'll probably want to sit in on from the comfort of our homes. But yeah, and then of course, we have WBC right after that, the week after. All of the links to join these events are in the show notes. The scholarship is the third link. So if you or someone you know and love would be a great fit for that, please do that. And don't wonder, are they ready yet? You're ready. You're ready to learn. We're always ready to learn.
Right.
Now is the time. Even if you think, oh gosh, I don't know if I'm allowed to say this, but if you feel like they're unmotivated to start their business, but they've thought about it, this is for them.
Sure.
This is sometimes something like this is like the motivation people need, the strike, to get the fire going.
Yeah.
So
I agree.
Yeah. Entrepreneurs are a different breed, I feel like. So yeah. Well, that's awesome. Let's see if we have okay. Yeah. We had Becky Wilson just comment that build your nation and participate in the programs. Get involved. Yeah, absolutely. So thank you again, Renee. I really appreciate this. And I think that's it for today.
Okay. Thanks again.
Bye all.